Hi. Yeah. Spirit fingers? I think so. I mean, obviously it's going to be on the podcast number when they're listening to it, so it really doesn't matter. But then again, if somebody's not looking and it's just like playing their feed, then like, oh yeah, I haven't listened to that one. Number 227. I was on 226 the other day. Just the numbers. Wait a second. Definitely is. Countryman. Ooh. And all that jazz. Oh, he says he can only hear Katrin. That's not. Well, poo. That doesn't make any sense, though. Why is it only? And I see the levels going up and down. Okay, I got an idea. Hold on, let's see. Hold on. I got an idea.
Yeah.
Did this work? Reconnected. Okay, you all talk and let's see if you hear
Hello.
now.
Vance,
Hello.
can you hear us, Vance?
You're our only hope.
Yeah, you're the only one. Unless you're gone now too. Can you hear us? Are we there?
I guess I could check.
It'll take a minute. Hear Ryan. Okay, I bet he'll hear Chris in a second because I don't think I was finished.
Me.
Hear Chris. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Yay.
Thank you, Vance. He's our sound guy.
Oh yeah, here we go. Let's try this again. Ready? Get the yawns out of the way. Okay.
Oh no, I got you.
And 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to iamGEEK. I'm Ryan, joined by my brother Chris and our good pal Katrin. And this is episode 227, and it is iamLegend, where we explore all the weird, the wacky, the supernatural, the paranormal, the craziness of the world we live in. Or that we think we live in. Dun, dun, dun. Last week we talked about the trailer for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So this week for iamLegend, we decided, hey, let's talk about real stories of people encountering the multiverse or parallel universe or whatever you want to call it.
Well, that's madness.
That's madness. So that's what we're gonna talk about tonight. But first, Katrin,
Yes.
Chris, how you
Mhm.
guys doing this week?
Fantastic.
Good.
Doing good.
Good. Yeah, that's good.
Doing good.
How are you, Ryan?
Yeah.
Doing good. It's a little crazy here right now, a little stressful, but it's fine. It's okay. There's a lot worse stuff happening. So I'm
Fine.
blessed. Good. But so we're still in the middle of construction, so that's always fun.
I could tell from the look of your room.
I know it's
horrible.
a mess. It's just
Oh,
horrible.
it's
I had a
terrible.
3D print fail today, so that was fun. Those are always
Oh.
fun. Like printing something midway through and it just so it's always fun. But anyways, enough about that.
Enough of
Enough
that.
about that.
Enough of that.
No. No, it's already forgotten. Where are we?
What are we talking about?
In another universe,
What?
it could be even worse,
Like you're like, in another universe, it could be interesting.
It could be, yeah. I don't know. Lightsabers could be real. I don't know.
I thought
You
about wearing
never
an
know.
eye patch tonight to be like, this is another, this is multiverse. It's the other Katrin. Well, that was the other idea. I was like, okay, I could just put my glasses on upside down. Yeah.
Ooh.
And I'm the visitor to this universe.
Anyways, I've come across a lot of weird stories. There's a ton. We're not going to discuss them all tonight because we'd be here all night. We're going to hit on a few about this thing. Basically, what real life, if you want to call them that, multiverse stories or parallel universes, is somebody will be doing something, and then they'll notice that their surroundings are a little bit different than usual, or something's a little off, or something's a little weird. Or
Typical Friday night. Gotcha.
yeah, or people will encounter other people that are like, who you shouldn't be here, or this shouldn't be how it is. Or even we'll get into it a little bit. Maybe you remember something and you're sure that's the way it was or always was, and you find out that, oh, that's not how it actually is.
I have that argument with my wife all the time. I remember something one way, she remembers it another.
What?
It's just, just
Oh,
things.
just everything. Just everything.
Just everything.
Just everything. So that's called the Mandela effect. We're going to probably talk about that a little bit tonight too. We could do a whole episode on the Mandela effect. But we're gonna go way back to the 12th century. I think that's where we're gonna start. Sounds like a good place to start, right?
Yes.
I
The
mean,
12th.
if you're going to start somewhere, start the 12th century.
Could have started the
I say
first
that all the
century,
time.
but whatever.
Yeah. Well, we'll start with the 12th century. The Green Children of Woolpit. This is a story. This is supposedly something happened.
I remember it like I was there.
I remember it like I was there. Basically, the legend is that these two children basically appeared on this trail in the woods, and that wouldn't be the weird part. Two children show up, but the children had green skin and they spoke in a language that nobody understood. So to the people in the village, it was just gibberish or whatever. So the villagers found these two children and they bring them in. Can't figure out where they're from, and they won't eat anything. They won't eat anything for a while, and then they finally start eating like dried beans.
That would not be my choice.
Yeah, and that's all they would eat for a while. Would just be these dried beans, like green beans, that they would find. And they moved. This guy named Richard D. Clain or whatever. Supposedly he brought these kids in to live with him. And he started, over time, they started eating normal food. And then their skin started to not be green, basically.
Weird.
Yeah. And then they slowly learned how to speak English. And then when they finally could speak English well enough, they told the story about what happened to them. And this is what they said. Words straight from the children. They said, we are inhabitants of the land of St. Martin, who is regarded with peculiar veneration in the country which gave us birth. We are ignorant of how we arrived here. We only remember this, that on a certain day, when we were feeding our father's flocks in the fields, we heard a great sound, such as we are now accustomed to hear at St. Edmund's when the bells are chiming. And while listening to the sound and admiration, we became on a sudden as if it were entranced, and found ourselves among you in the fields where you are reaping. The sun does not rise upon our countrymen. Our land is little cheered by its beams. We are contented with that twilight which among you precedes the sunrise or follows the sunset. Moreover, a certain luminous country is seen, not far distant from ours, and divided from it. Remember, this is the 12th century, by a very simple river. So they're saying they're from this other land that basically doesn't see the sun that often.
They need to learn English better still.
Yeah, that's like old. So shortly after this, Richard takes the children to be baptized at the local church. However, soon after that, the boy dies of an unknown illness that nobody can tell what it is. And then the girl, later known as Agnes, continued to work for Richard for many years, and then she got married. And according to one report, they had at least one child. She got married to Richard Barr. So if they are from this alternate universe or whatever, then she married somebody and had a child. So this child could have started, their descendants could be like half from this one weird world and half from, I don't know. So this is sort of one of, not probably the first known case, but one of the first known case of somebody saying I was somewhere and then it was like I walked through a portal into another universe and then they got stuck there. So it's a little weird.
I feel like their family lives in a cave. They found the opening to the cave, walked through, and like, where are we? And they're very malnutritious, so their organs are shutting down, which would cause the green skin.
Maybe.
Because they're not used to eating food.
You've solved the mystery.
I mean, but more than likely it was an interdimensional travel.
No. Well, one of the main theories is that they're descendants of Flemish immigrants.
The Flemish. Speak
Flemish. Who had been persecuted and possibly killed by King Stephen, or perhaps King Henry II, and they were lost and confused without their parents, and that's why they were speaking sort of their native tongue of Flemish.
Flim. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's
which this makes
that's
what it is. I mean, that makes more sense to me than interdimensional travel.
No, that makes the most sense. That's interesting. I mean, the green skin, it's like the blue mountain people in Tennessee. The Blue Mountain people in Tennessee.
I don't think I've ever heard
don't know
of
what
them.
you're talking about.
I think it's in Tennessee. The Blue
Mountain
people. I
think you're thinking of Avatar, Pandora.
No, the Blue Ridge Mountain. The people that live in Blue Ridge Mountain.
Yeah, Blue Ridge. Well, no, there's supposedly blue people that live in the mountains.
Huh.
They sing this song all day. I'm blue.
Yes, exactly.
I've never heard of these Blue Mountain people. We'll have to look into this. He's gonna look into it now. I'll be like, oh no, sorry, I was thinking of the Smurfs.
Yeah, probably. It is Avatar. No, I believe they're Blue Mountain people.
The science
Something.
behind the
Yeah,
mysterious
it was
people, blue
Kentucky.
people of
It was in
Kentucky,
Kentucky.
Oh, well, that
Yeah.
makes more sense. Okay.
and they were
Yeah,
French.
mysterious blue people of Kentucky. They were blue. They're actually blue.
Oh,
It's a genetic condition.
it's because of the
Mhm.
bluegrass, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like Kentucky bluegrass.
But it's a rare genetic condition that's turned his skin a striking indigo blue.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not green though.
So the name's kind of methemoglobinemia,
Of course.
which causes the methemoglobin levels in the red blood cells to rise above 1%. It turns the skin blue, the lips purple, and the blood a chocolate brown.
Yeah, there you
Can
go.
be triggered
Or
by
he's from a
exposure to
different
particular
universe.
chemicals, benzocaine and xylocaine, for example, but in this case it was inherited and the product of a faulty gene that most probably caused a deficiency in an enzyme called blah, 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 blah.
There you go. Or it could just be like flamingos. They're pink because they eat
the salmon.
shrimp.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
He's eating the
they're
bluegrass.
eating the bluegrass, and the green kids, they were eating grass.
Blueberries.
That's all they were eating.
They were eating green dried beans. Is all they would eat.
Well, no, after
No, that's what I think.
when
That's
they
what
came
they
to them.
were used to eating, was these
Mhm.
green beans. And then when they finally started
green.
eating like other foods, then their green started disappearing.
Mhm.
So that's just the oldest story. Now we're going to get into some more, I think, more interesting ones, because that one, it sounds like two kids lost in the woods, malnutritious, and they were just found. Anyways, okay. This one, there's this man that shows up at the Tokyo airport, and I don't have the year on this.
Okay.
Tokyo International Airport with a passport from a country that doesn't exist called, and I'll probably mispronounce it, Taured. Taured.
Torrid.
So yeah, sure. So he shows up with his passport, and the passport is like, he's from there, but it's got like stamps on it from other places. That makes sense, I think. But it says that he's from this weird place, and it looked legit. It looked like a legitimate visa stamps from multiple. I got something in my mouth. Multiple
Your tongue?
U.S. Yeah, no.
Right out your finger. Just take that out.
Sorry, I got it. It was a hair. He had legitimate visa stamps from multiple European countries that all checked out, but he was from someplace else. He had checks from an unknown bank and a driver's license issued in Taured. He was sent to a hotel while things were sorted out. So basically, security grabbed him, said, who are you? What's going on? This isn't real. Took him to this hotel. And two immigration officers stood outside his hotel door. But when they went to check on him in the morning, he had vanished, him and everything that was with him. This was from 15 stories up above a busy street. So escaping through a window was highly unlikely, if not probably impossible. And the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department searched but never located the man from Taured. So he appears at the airport with this visa that says he's from someplace else. They can't find it. I think they even brought out it's either this story or another story. They brought out a map and said, show us where this is. And he pointed to someplace, but it was like someplace else here. But he said, that's weird because it's not. That may have been another story I've read.
Deerot.
What?
Deerot. That was probably, it was backwards.
Oh. Anyways, so he appears at the airport and then disappears the next morning. So this was a little more like, okay, this one's not as easy to explain.
Okay, so
except for Chris, he's going to explain about.
I got
from Kentucky.
Yeah, it's blue people from. No, I mean, to me, it's this guy is a con man of some sort or whatever. He's forged a passport, kind of stupidly picking a place that he doesn't think exists, because maybe that would be easier, because it had all the stamps. So apparently, people did believe it that there was a place. Because I mean, who looks at it and goes, "I've never heard of this place before." Kentucky, that's not a place. No, I mean, no, these airport people, they don't check that. Except for these one people, they did. They and yeah, I'm guessing the policemen watching him are like, this is stupid watching this guy. Let's go get a beer or something. They probably stepped away for a little bit, and he left. Um,
Chris is good. I didn't
I
know
don't know.
Chris was going to try to debunk every story we
I'm
told.
gonna debunk them all.
It's the new game.
I mean, he
Yeah.
went into a lot. He had a lot of trouble. He had the visa. He had checks from an unknown bank, and he had a driver's license from Tarid. He had currency from multiple European countries.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a little weird. A little
to me,
weird.
that screams con man going around. He's got multiple country money. He's traveling. He's got a checkbook that like to no bank. So I mean, he's just writing checks left and right and then running. Um, and then yeah, I'm sure he's had to get out of situations before. So I think he can get out of a hotel room.
All right.
I mean,
We'll
orders
go.
room service. Like the guy wheels it in, knocks him out, changes clothes, and then wheels himself out. I mean,
Chris has seen too many movies.
he's got all his luggage like in the cart for the thing to drop off the food on.
Well, then why didn't they find the other dude
Perfect
and then they
getaway.
knocked out?
Because he threw him out the window.
Oh God.
Or he was
opened up
probably
his
under the cart. He
portal,
probably stuffed him under the cart too, and then just wheeled it out.
or
and then that guy woke up.
and just put him went through the portal.
Or yeah, probably the portal thing. That's probably what happened.
All right. Well, let's go on to the next one so Chris can tear it apart. I'm just kidding. This one's called The Cabin in Markawasi Stone Forest that leads to a parallel dimension. All right. Yeah. This one's a little different. So one day a woman and her friends were camping at a site near the mysterious forest. The stone forest. When they heard music coming from a small stone cabin that was lit up by torches. They claimed to see people wearing 17th century fashion dancing inside, and the curious woman was drawn to it. So she headed over and tried to enter. Before she could get inside, a friend pulled her away, and half of her body immediately became paralyzed, the half that had entered the cabin. Some believe that the woman partially entered a dimensional gateway, and when she was pulled out, she had experienced a shift that threw off her nervous system, resulting in partial paralyzation. So this one is supposedly there was multiple witnesses to this, and that there was physical evidence by half of her body all of a sudden being paralyzed, and nobody knows what was going on. The thing about a lot of these stories that I'm reading is people that go through these portals or whatever you want to call them never go to the future. It's always either something that is parallel to what they're doing, like the present, or the past. You never see them go, I went through this portal and I was in the future and there was flying cars and there was this and that and that. It's always like they go either to like a house that they're in, but it's a little different, or they walk into a cabin that's full of people from the 17th century or something. I found that interesting about all the stories that I read. None of them were like, I went to the future and I saw all this stuff and then I came back.
Well, I mean, to me, this one's easily explained.
Oh gosh.
So I mean, they're camping. It's a big group. They're having a little fun. They're drinking. They're getting a little wacky weed. Girl starts to wander off, and she's like, "Oh, there's people dancing. I'm going to go over there." And she starts to run towards them, but it's a tree. And her friend's like, "Don't run into the tree." So she grabs her, but does like an improper Vulcan neck pinch when she grabs her and pulls her back, which paralyzes just half of her body, not the full, because she didn't do the full Vulcan neck pinch. It's only a half Vulcan neck pinch. So only half her body went dead.
We got the comedy Chris, comedian Chris here tonight.
Easily explained. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
Or it's a portal.
I don't know. It's weird stuff. It's sort of weird. We're
It's
gonna
weird.
get to we're gonna get down to some of the stuff that some theories about why this is happening. We got a couple more of these that I'm sure Katrin and Chris have their examples too that they've studied.
You've already taken all 3 of the ones.
Oh,
I
I've
had,
taken all
so,
yours. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you've kind of.
All right. This is a man who was teleported to a parallel universe while driving. Mhm. In November 1986. I remember 1986. So
That was a year.
some of our listeners probably don't. Too young. A man named Pedro Olivia Ramirez was driving from Seville to a town called, oh boy, Alcado Garanda, where he went around a curve and I don't know, and
Could you
allegedly
say that
found
again for our listeners?
No, I can't. He went around a curve and allegedly found himself on a 6-lane highway. He continued driving down this straight road, seeing unfamiliar things like 20-story housing units, unidentified structures, and grass about 2 feet high along the edge of the road. Shortly thereafter, he felt a hot sensation within his vehicle and heard distant voices, one of which stood out, informing him that he had been transferred to another country in a different hemisphere. He continued driving on the highway for an hour, then stopped to examine the unfamiliar roadside area. After getting back in his car and continuing to drive, he spotted a sign pointing in 3 different directions. One was labeled Malaga, the other was labeled Sevilla, and the last one was Alacabala.
Because
Yeah, Pedro took the Sevilla detour, and without fully knowing why, he stopped driving. And when he looked to his left, he was standing outside his home in that long place that I couldn't pronounce, Alcada Grande. Frustrated and confused, he tried to retrace his steps, but could never find the crossroads or the triple road sign. So this one's a little different because he's just driving, and then he's sort of in this weird place, and he hears voices telling him that he's in a different hemisphere, and then he finds these basically like a fork in the road, or these signs pointing different directions, and he takes the one that I guess he was most familiar with, because it sounds like it's spelled differently, but it sounds like this town that he was driving from. So that is Seville, and the road sign said Sevilla. And then he was at his destination that he was going to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's your explanation on that one, Chris? Drugs?
It's simple. No, I mean he's driving. He's driving a while. I mean you get tired driving. He's by himself. He's getting a little. He's nodding off a little bit, getting a little tipsy as he's driving. You know, and he gets. Yeah, I know exactly. He gets so tired, he starts seeing not double vision but triple vision, where he's seeing 3 roads, and boom, dyslexia hits him because he's so sleepy, and all the letters are getting mixed up. But his body knows where to go home, because he's traveled that so many times. We've all done that. We're driving home, and we're like, suddenly we're home. And
so maybe he went
that's
to
what
a
happened.
Parallel universe,
or yes, it could be a portal.
Portal, or
it's the same portal that Nessie uses to travel from Loch Ness to the Americas, where there's another Nessie. It's just the same Nessie. There's portals. That's a theory. Look it up. That's actually a thing. People believe that.
All right. Last one, and then we're going to get into some theories and talk about some of the things that could be going on. The universe, and there's a ton of these stories. You can look there. I just picked like 5. The universe in which the Beatles never broke up.
This is my favorite one.
Yeah. In 2009, so not too long ago, a man named James Richard was in Livermore, California, driving home from Turlock with his dog. He claims that when he pulled over to let the pup empty her bladder, why didn't he just say go to the bathroom? She sprinted
more PC
after a rabbit. I guess, sprinted after a rabbit, and he followed after her, but tripped, knocking himself unconscious. When James came to, he was next to an odd machine in the company of a man named Jonas, who claimed to have found his unconscious body while on a work trip for an interdimensional travel agency. I guess it's a thing. While they were together, Jonas and Richards wound up chatting about pop culture in their respective universes and discovered that not only did the Beatles also exist in this dimension, but they were all still alive and actively making music. Richards acquired a cassette tape labeled Everyday Chemistry, which contained Beatles songs that were never existed in our dimension. He even uploaded the songs to a website and called it the Beatles Never Broke Up.com. And it is a
Yeah,
website
I'm looking at
that
it
you
now.
can go to that I
Yeah.
have on my phone.
Yeah,
Right.
I looked that website up earlier, and yeah, he has songs there you can listen to. Amazingly, most of them are instrumental.
How convenient.
Very little lyrics in there, and the lyrics are a little kind of low and hard to hear a little bit. And,
Well, it is a cassette tape.
It
you
is
know.
a cassette.
oh
tape.
yeah, but yeah, this alternate dimension in 2009, they're still using cassette tapes.
That's right.
I guess.
Well,
Even though these, besides some weird looking machine that apparently is helping him, like medicine, they like technology went way high there, but music and and DVDs, all that never existed. Like it's
He says
still
on the
just
website, I don't expect
VHS.
you to believe what happened to me. I sure wouldn't. But that's why I grabbed the tape as proof that my experience was real.
Okay.
The songs are Four Guys, and then Talking to Myself. Anybody else? Sick to
Well,
Death. Jen. Oh, there's one called Jen with two N's.
I know.
I'm just sitting here, Soldier Boy, over the ocean. Days like these, Saturday night, Mr. Gator Swamp Jamboree. Now that one
I
sounds like
love
a
that
winner.
name. I love that name. So here's what happened.
Wait, hold on.
not the Beatles.
That's Mr. Gator Swamp Jamboree.
It's a different Beatles. It's not our Beatles. There's the
Is there any lyrics on any of them? I haven't got to listen to them.
yeah. In that dimension, they're not from Liverpool. They're from Louisiana.
Maybe. Did you say some of them have lyrics on them?
Some of them have lyrics. It was hard to find. Like I was trying to scroll to find them, but it was hard to find exactly. It was every song seemed to be mostly instrumental, with very few lyrics to them. But here's what really happened. So
he made a mixtape and he couldn't get it to anybody to buy it, so he called it the
crazy
Beatles.
Story.
Basically, but no. So he was driving. He did. The dog needed to go relieve its bladder.
Empty its bladder.
That's empty his bladder. That's how most people say it. I don't know why you're so confused by that.
Why is it so weird to you?
I don't know. That's weird. So he did trip. He fell. This happened in California, where the Jonas Brothers live.
Mhm.
Because and they're like, dude, this guy fell and he's knocked out. Let's play a prank. And they brought him onto their tour bus. They're like really fancy, like really nice looking tour bus. So he's never been on, so he doesn't know where he is. Everything looks so like futuristic to him, but really it's just a bidet. He's never seen one. So he's like, oh yeah, my name's Jonas, because he's probably seen their name on the bus or whatever, so they can't say another name. So they're like, yeah, my name's Jonas, and here's a little mixtape. Beatles are still alive, and then they kick him out, and that's what happened. It's just a big prank by the Jonas Brothers.
I'm looking to see if the cassette tape, like you could actually get that kind of cassette tape.
I don't think you were listening to me.
I was.
You know what?
I don't.
Just multitasking.
You know what it reminds me of, and I'm sure y'all thought of this too, the movie Yesterday.
Where the Beatles in that one the Beatles didn't exist.
But they were still alive. They just didn't exist. They just didn't form the band.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is a great movie. If you've never seen the movie Yesterday, find it and check it out. It's
really
clever, and it's good. But and then in that one though, he was in a coma or something. I don't remember what happened. Like
I forget
was
how
there
it
an
ended.
accident? There was an accident, right?
Was it hit by a
Yeah,
car
something
or
like that.
something?
Yeah, he's on his bicycle.
Yeah, he woke up. Yeah, he didn't go back to his own universe. I don't know. I don't remember. Watch the movie and find out. Let us
Yeah,
know.
it's been a while since I've seen it, but
anyways, it's yeah, that was a really good movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe this guy's just crazy.
probably.
Like a fox.
I mean, the ones where it's like this one person tells the story, it's really hard to believe, right? Because it's,
Yeah.
I mean, people do lots of drugs. People have really great imaginations, and there's nobody there to prove it. It's when you have these like multiple witnesses there, unless they were all doing drugs at the same time, that it's like, oh well, that's weird, you know. But
Yeah, to me, out of these five, just these five,
Yeah.
the one that's most interesting to me that, hey, something weird happened would probably be the cabin one, because there was a group of people and then this woman suddenly becomes paralyzed in half of
Yeah.
her body and nobody knows why. And it wasn't the Vulcan neck thing.
Sure, it wasn't.
The one I couldn't find it, but my favorite one that I've heard is I touched on it. Basically, a couple is on a drive. They stop. They want to stop and get something to eat. They stop at this restaurant. They go in. They sit down to order, and it's sort of like everybody around them was there, but it's like nobody would basically pay attention to them. And they thought that was weird, and like, people are just weird here. And then they leave, and they're like, that was just really weird. And then on the drive back, they say, well, let's stop there again. And they try to find it, and they can never find the restaurant. That stuff like that's weird. It's like, maybe they did pass into something weird. I don't know. But okay, now we're heading into legitimately science, real life stuff. Those are just stories that people told that, I mean, besides the green children, which I guess was actually, there was green children, but it was probably just malnutritious children that didn't speak the language everybody else spoke. Okay, one of the things that has happened is, are you familiar with the Large
Hadron Collider?
Is it Hadron?
Hadron.
Yeah.
Hadron?
Yeah.
Hadron
Collider? All right, supposedly this thing is...
I think we are, yeah, since we...
It's crazy. Yeah.
Say
Well, I sent you the stuff. So.
No, I remember when they started the thing, everybody got kind of nervous about it because
I watched Big Bang Theory.
Yeah. Like, what's going to happen when they collide these things, right?
Yeah, it's a powerful accelerator. It boosts particles such as protons, which form all the matter that we know. Accelerated to speeds close to that of light, they collide with other protons, and these collisions produce massive particles such as the Higgs boson and top quark, whatever. Has the potential possibility to make black holes.
Yeah, that was the big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Make a black hole on Earth. It'll be
great.
And one of the theories is the date that they started this up, the year, I forget what year it was. Was it 2001 or?
I don't remember.
It's down here somewhere. Hold on. 2008. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
A popular theory is that the CERN, or the European Research Center, caused a splinter in time and space when it fired up the Large Hadron Collider in 2008 and started flinging atoms at other atoms to discover the roots of the universe. Of course, there's absolutely no evidence to support this theory. So, I mean, this thing, it makes sense, because black holes, we don't know what's inside of a black hole, right? One of the theories is that, these collisions and stuff and alternate universes is that basically every time we make a decision, it spurns off, just like in Loki, it spurns off the timeline or whatever. And there's one where we, made this other decision, and then there's one where we made this other decision, and it keeps going and keeps going. So, which leads to what we now know as the Mandela effect, which could possibly be the bleeding over of other universes, parallel multiverse universe type stuff. And before this, you've heard of the Mandela effect, right?
Yeah, Mandela.
Remembering things one way, but they're actually a different way.
Yeah.
Like Berenstain Bears.
Yeah. And it's called the Mandela effect because of Nelson Mandela. People swore that he died in prison in the 80s. And that that didn't happen, that he was actually released from prison in 1990 and was the president of South Africa from 94 to 99, and then he died in 2013. Being honest, I thought like in the 80s he died.
I don't remember.
I think I remember that.
I mean, I remember him being in jail, but I don't remember what happened with him.
I was a child and probably knew nothing. So
yeah,
I think I thought that he was just still in there in prison. That's, if anything, but
yeah. And this term Mandela effect was coined in 2010 by paranormal researcher Sophie Broom when she noticed that others like her misremembered the Mandela funeral. So basically, they remember a funeral. They remember the funeral. They remember his wife getting up and giving a eulogy. All this stuff. They remember it all happening. Also, that stores had different names, logos looked different, meat products spelled differently, beloved characters in movies said lines differently, and songs ended in new ways and confusing ways. I mean, one of the big ones is Star Wars. There's a couple of lines in Star Wars that people remember completely different.
Luke, I am your father.
Yeah, which is no, I'm your father is actually. But and then the Snow White one, the mirror, mirror on the wall is never said in the movie. It says magic mirror on the wall.
There's a Lord of the
which Disney even says mirror, mirror on the wall on a lot of their like stuff.
There's one in Lord of the Rings where at the end of the first one, the beginning of the second one, where Gandalf is fighting the big demon monster thing. Yeah, that's it. And he says, "Run, you fool!" Or people remember him saying, "Run, you fools," and he says, "Fly, you fools!" And so I think part of it is we just have bad memories, and our brains want to make us believe certain things happen a certain way, or certain things are just like the logos thing.
What about I think some of that goes to also, I mean, where we see it in the movie, but then a lot of like SNL, various other TV shows will like do stuff about that, but they'll do it wrong or do it a little different. And then we see that more than we would see the part in the movie. And so that gets ingrained in our minds more than the actual original.
Chris, what about your favorite movie? Shazam starring Sinbad.
Oh, I love Shazam starring Sinbad. It didn't exist.
It could have in an alternate universe.
There was Kazam with Shaq.
In this universe. But I don't know. But yeah, there's like over 200,000 members on a Reddit community that discusses Mandela effects. It's weird. And some people think it's like a residue of the timeline that has been erased, and we're only seeing residual hints of it.
It's the effect of the internet and mobile devices on our brains and video games. Our brains are mush. I don't know. I mean, there's probably something. I don't know what causes it. Again, I think it's just our brains are just not performing the way they should.
What about this? When this is sort of off the subject. When is the first time you ever heard the term bucket list?
movie. I don't.
The
I don't know.
movie maybe.
Movie
I think
bucket
it might
list.
have been the Tommy Lee
I
Jones.
don't know.
Was it? That might have been it. With Morgan Freeman.
Maybe.
Morgan Freeman was in a movie called Bucket
Yeah.
List.
Yeah, I think that might have been it. Yeah.
That was the first time you heard it? People swear that they use the term bucket list, like older people swear that they've used that. But if you look it up, the word bucket list did not exist until that movie was made.
There you go.
Hmm.
I mean,
But
Maybe.
people are like,
that's-
no, we used to say that all the time. It's kick the bucket. This is your list that you're going to do, bucket list.
I feel like it could have existed
Yeah.
before then.
And suppose the story is that the person who wrote the movie, he had a book that was called that he wrote all the stuff in that says things I want to do before I kick the bucket. And for the movie, writing the movie, they said, well, let's just make it the bucket. We'll just do it and we'll just make this up and say the bucket list. And so if you look back, it's not mentioned anywhere before the movie was made. Like any writings, anything.
But
I can see that. I mean, it was in the 90s. Like I can see it. I mean, it not be necessarily written down before or anything, and like to scour every writing.
well, and maybe it wasn't written down. People just
Yeah, it
said
just
it.
may
dude.
not have
Yeah.
been just been one of those sayings that's just been passed down. And then you have the Hollywood type people who are like, nah, we made that
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
That was us. Give us
Mhm.
money for it.
I don't know.
It's so fetch. Yeah.
There are, you mentioned the Bernstein or Berenstain or
Berenstain.
however you want to say it.
Yeah. Peacemaker.
There have been cassettes found that on the front of the cassette, it says the way that it's supposed to be or whatever.
Mhm.
And on the spine of the
Shame.
cassette, it's written the other way. Isn't that weird?
That's
That
weird.
is-
Like legit.
Yeah,
cassettes.
that is one that I don't remember it being, but it's probably just because, like, as a kid, you translate things a certain way and just look at things and you don't really fully understand them. I think I don't know. Even with movies, it's like I don't remember that happening that way, but it was just because a lot of it went over my head, or it's just been 20
Mhm.
years or whatever. So it's,
I
but
don't know.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think somebody's
Or
going
it's a portal.
yeah. And then the thing with the logos, I think is just, again, people have just bad memories, and it's so close that, I mean, like Target, that's the common one you see when it's like, is it this logo or is it this logo? It's like, I don't know. It's a Target. What do you want?
I don't look at the wall. I just go in.
Yeah.
And some people think that another theory is that the reason that this stuff changes is not residue from another timeline or multiverse or whatever. It's time travel. That somewhere in the future,
Just
email
somebody's
us.
created time travel and goes
coming
back.
back and messing with us.
Well, yeah, or it goes back and changes stuff, which changes these little things, and we remember it one way because that's the way we remember, but it's been changed. I mean, I don't know why he would change. Like, I don't know.
Just a mess with it.
Berenstein, like that's too German sounding. Let's change it. Berenstein. Like no, Berenstein. That's
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff that goes on, and there's a lot of stories. And the ones that are, there's like ones where people will go to bed and they'll go to bed and they'll wake up and their sheets will be a different color, and little things in their apartments will be different. And then they'll get dressed. Like this was something that happened to a lady. And then they go to work. And when they get to work, they go to their office and there's somebody else in their office. And they find out that their office is down the hallway and they have a different position and a different boss. And then she goes back home and her ex-boyfriend is there. And she's like, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "What do you mean? We've been together for years." And she finds out that, they're still together and the boyfriend that she currently has is nowhere to be found. And Weird stuff. I know
I'm just
it's
gonna go
probably
with mental breakdown.
I know it's
mental
probably not
issues, right? So
it's probably not real, but it's interesting.
what about deja vu? I mean, is it kind of related? You know, it's like I remember
Could
this
be.
happening before, and
Yeah.
it didn't,
Well, I have
right?
that like all the time.
Oh, I know, and it's like it's happening right now. It's or you know, it's not that it happened before necessarily. It's just it's happening now, but you feel like you remember it happening, and it's like I don't know. I don't.
Saying this, remember saying, "Go, this is happening when this is
This is
happening before, and
happening.
this
That this is
happening when it's happening right now before when it happened." I remember that,
yeah.
remembering it now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about this stuff forever. There's just so many stories, and of course, there's no way to prove them.
Yeah.
Because basically most of the time it happens to an individual, and the easiest thing to say is, "Well, they're just crazy."
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I say the wrong words all the time, and my wife's like, "No, it's not the right thing at all." But it's not. Like, what is it? What's the group? It's they have a female singer and a male singer. I called them Lady what's the name of the group?
Lady
I
Annabelle?
call them Lady Abernathy,
Lady
and she's like, "What?
Lady Abernathy.
Like, Lady
Maybe in the
Lady Antebellum?"
universe you came from, that's
No,
what
I
they
just have
are.
a really bad. I'm getting worse and worse at my memory. I used to make fun of one of my roommates because he had this really bad memory. He was 10 years older than me, and I would make fun of him, and now it's happening to me. So it's I shouldn't have done that, I guess.
Well, I don't even know where we are right now. So. You fellows look nice. What's going on?
Well, next time we'll try to think of an I Am Legend where a little harder for Chris to debunk.
Oh, can't be done.
I think it's a fun new game.
Mm-hmm.
It's the new version of explain the name of the movie that.
Yeah, let us know, listeners, in the
hey,
comments.
Chris, what really happened?
Yeah, in the comments or on Facebook, on iamGroup, or wherever in the comments on YouTube. What would you like us to dive into this legend route? What supernatural or paranormal or downright weird stuff you want us to talk about? And next time, maybe I'll let one of you guys choose a subject, and I'll be the guy that just rips it apart.
Oh man,
we are in another dimension then. What?
That's not true. Anyways, so yeah, so that's real life multiverse. Just a little snippet of it.
I'm just gonna open up my multiverse portal here.
When that collider starts opening up those black holes and weird things start coming through, you're gonna be like, well, maybe there's something to this.
Yeah.
I don't know what Chris is doing. Anyways, he's being weird. Anyways,
traveling through dimensions.
Next week is we'll just let Chris do his weird thing. Next week is what, I Am Disney?
We haven't done one of those in a while. Yeah. So
yeah, so I Am Disney next
people
week.
are starting to go to the Star Cruiser, so there'll be some information to share on that.
Tomorrow there'll be lots and lots of information because all these people that got to go for free will be saying how great it is.
Yep.
I guarantee we won't hear negative
review. Yep.
No, it'll be all awesome.
It'll be like, it's the best thing ever.
It was so incredible.
I would pay $20,000 for this.
I hope that there's somebody that at least says one negative thing about it, because then it makes you think, okay, they're telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It may be worth it, but they're I hope it's not all like, yes, the greatest thing I ever did. Everything was perfect, and I pay double. I'm like, no, you wouldn't, because you didn't pay anything.
Yeah. So Disney, bring us there.
Yeah.
We'll give a honest review. We'll love it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It'll be an honest review of us loving it.
I think it's going to be really cool and really great. But I don't know about for the price point, really great.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll
That's
be
the only thing. This is the price point.
Looking place. It'll be fun, but yeah, not worth what they're paying.
I think, like, if you got like Dano, who's we've had him on. He's going, and he got 4 adults together, including him. There's 4 of them sitting in a room, and I think he paid $1,700. So that's not as bad as the $6,000 it would take. Like if I just wanted to go, or if I wanted to take my family, when it's just one geeky guy finding some other geeky people to go and splitting it up, it's not as bad as saying, "Oh, I'm going to go and pay $6,000, $5,000."
I just can't. I can't see doing 2 days of that or a 7-day cruise.
But if it's
which am I going to pick here?
A super Star Wars fan that wanted to live Star Wars like Westworld, then yeah, it would probably be worth it. Well, you're not a super Star Wars.
I mean, I'm a big comic book fan. If they said, "Hey, you can come live as Batman for 2 days and pay this price," I don't want to pay that price.
So if somebody said, "Okay, you and 3 of your buddies, $1,700 a piece. You get your own Batmobile. You get all the Bat gadgets. You get to slide down the Bat pole. You get to have the secret layer. You live in the Bat cave for 2 days." You would be like, "That's too much. I'm not gonna do it."
1,700. That's one thing, but
that's what I'm saying.
It's just me and my wife going, which would probably be the trip. It would just be me and my wife going because she'd want to go, and paying what we would pay for a cruise. Say you can go live in the Batcave for 2 days and have people act horribly like they're in Batman, or you can go on this cruise where you can travel the Caribbean and have all the food included and everything as well. That I'd be I'm going to go on the cruise.
Well, yeah, we're going to talk about this.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll probably talk about this now. But I think for rich people or for YouTubers or geeky guys that get together with their friends to go, I think it's not that bad for a bunch of adults to cram it to and each pay their own way.
Yeah.
Now, would I take my family of 4 to it? No, I would never do that. But if I was going by myself with people splitting the cost, basically, I would consider that. But we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
And maybe in another parallel universe, it's free.
And you get real lightsabers.
Yes. Yeah.
That you can keep.
Yeah. Yeah. They did show pictures of the exclusive lightsaber, and I didn't like it. But anyways, that's just me. Anyways, that's next week. I am Disney. We'll be talking probably about some Star Cruisers along with some other Disney related things that have been going on, because we have the date for the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, the opening date for that. A lot of news. We'll probably get into that. Anyways, this has been I Am Geek, I'm Legend. I Am Geek presents I Am Legend. Episode 227. Oh, I wonder what episode 227 I Am Geek is in a parallel universe. What we talked about. Oh no.
Yeah. Probably Flash.
Probably
still talking about Flash, because in that universe it remained good.
Good, yeah. Anyways, all right. Well, we'll see you next week on I Am Geek for I Am Disney.
Well, what?
I think I have a smoke alarm beeping it.
I thought I heard that.
Yeah.
That was the first time I heard it.
The battery.
Yeah. Oh, great. Now I have to figure out which one it is. That's always the fun thing.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's one, and you change the battery, and it starts beeping. You're like, well, it wasn't that one.
Yep.
Or it's that one, and it's still beeping for some reason. Even though you changed
Van says some are making dummy accounts so they can do the shill and the truth.
I don't know what that is.
Is it about the Star Cruiser?
Yes. Yeah, that was in reference to the Star Cruiser.
Yeah. I'm interested.
I mean, basically, he's just saying, yeah, they're making accounts so that they can talk about the truth, and what it really is like. So. so that it doesn't
Uh,
tie them back to. I mean, I think that's what he's saying.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I wonder what all these people had to sign to get on there. Like, I wonder if they had to sign a thing basically saying you will be
bash us,
positive.
Yeah.
You won't bash us.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've got, and I mean they're getting it for free.
Yeah. And supposedly it was like the majority of the people were TikTokers, which
Mhm.
not how to tread lightly.
But I mean, I think too, though, if you're giving something free like that, you're going to be a little more positive because
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
you're not thinking about, oh, I spent my money on this.
Yeah.
All you're thinking
Yeah.
about is like,
Mhm.
I spent my weekend on this, but it's like it's still
And
probably better than what you were going to do on the weekend, you know? So
Yeah.
and TikTokers aren't bringing their kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
They don't have kids.
they're like 22.
Yeah.
I did notice that all the pictures that of people arriving, all the pictures, everybody was wearing Star Wars gear that you would buy at Disney.
Yeah.
I saw one guy that it's Resort TV One is a YouTube channel, and the guy was wearing a looked like a hyperspace.
They got to go.
I'm sorry.
They got to go.
They got to go, yeah, because they're doing a live stream tomorrow to talk about it. But the wife was wearing like a Princess Leia outfit, and he was wearing this shirt that was like a Hawaiian style shirt, but it was just like hyperspace, like stars. Going. It was,
I think they sell that.
Yeah.
I think Disney sells that.
Okay, of course they do.
Yeah.
But
I think it was all Disney clothes people were wearing.
so yeah,
Pretty sure I've seen them at Disney.
it'll be interesting to see.
Oh yeah, I'm interested. I mean, I still want to go. I just don't have the money to pay.
What was the thing? Well, I guess it was a lot of the Star Wars stuff. It's like they didn't want any pictures out, or even like Pandora, right? Even the Flight of Passage, like they didn't want anything out.
Yeah.
About it, and any videos, it wouldn't let you take any videos or whatever. But so I imagine they'll try to do the same. But
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I watched. We can wrap it up after this. I watched Free Guy.
I started it. I need to finish it.
I had watched that before.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
it was
I
really
liked what I
good.
saw so far.
It's fun.
It
I
is.
watched Kingsman. The Kingsman.
Oh, how was that?
It was good. It was fun. Like the other two, I think, are better. It's a lot different than I thought it would be. Like based on the trailers that you see, they do not tell you a lot of the movie.
Yeah.
In the trailers, there's a lot of stuff
That's
that
good.
is not in those. So there's some surprising stuff, but it's well made. It's fun. I would watch a sequel to it. I think they could definitely continue it on and do some more stories.
Yeah, I want to see it.
We started watching Resident Alien.
Oh,
that's a good show.
So
That's a
it's
good
on
show.
Peacock Plus, so we're watching the first season right now.
Yeah, I'm in season 2.
I saw a review of season 2, and somebody said, or not a review, it was a comment, and somebody said, I like season 1, but season 2 is a little too woke for me. I was like, oh no.
I haven't got to that yet.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I hope not.
know what that's about.
But yeah, I like it a lot.
I don't think it. I mean, I usually notice things like that. I don't.
Yeah, it was just one
understand.
person that is. So made me nervous. So.
Vance, if you should here, did you like the I Am Legend? Do you like that little style, or should we just not do that again?
It's a departure for us though, because it's like it's more storytelling than discussion, right? It's so it's different.
We could do it in different ways. This is just the easiest way I thought for this one.
No, precedent has been set. This is
how we have to do it now.
I'm sure we'll do Bigfoot and all that stuff. I don't know.
Sasquatch.
I mean, I Am Legend, technically one of our 2 thumbs up. Good. One of our biggest episodes was pretty much an I Am Legend, and that was when we talked about The Secret. So we could do more stuff like that.
Our biggest
one, not the biggest. One of the ones that got a lot of
in the rough.
I still don't understand that one.
So
no clue.
We looked at it recently. It's about things on Disney
Stuff on
Plus.
Disney Plus. Yeah.
that are diamonds in the rough, and it was from 2020, and it's our second most watched video. I don't know if it's because of the keywords that are in it, like the word diamonds or what. I don't know.
Diamonds, lovely.
And the description of the episode is really short. It mentions the word Disney Plus and movies or something like. I mean, so I don't know what it's picking up because we've used some of the same words and many other ones. Ray Chase is on there, so it's like, what is it about? It's almost like it's something else is referring to it from another feed. I don't know. Maybe it's right after it recommends the Tim Tracker episode.
Maybe so.
Could be.
And then they listen to that one and they're like, why did I listen to this? And then they don't listen to it anymore.
Who knows?
Who knows? Anyways. All right. Well, I guess that's it for this episode.
Yeah.
All right.
Hopefully, all three of us will be back here, and none of us will fall into an alternate universe.
Watch your talk.
Well, Chris is gone. Come back to us.
Please.
He's going to be paralyzed.
Oh.
Are you paralyzed?
Yeah, just the half.
Yeah. Oh, no. Not that half.
Yeah, just the Vulcan neck pinch was not full. Just a half Vulcan neck pinch.
Oh, man. All right.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, Vance.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye.
Yeah.